Up+Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up+Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up+Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for being Up+Adam. A little rain yesterday, huh? Excited for today's episode. I've been looking forward to sharing this with you for a minute. Coming up later in the show, I'm going to sit down with the one and only Rob Rossi, the visionary, the developer, and legacy architect who helped shape San Luis Obispo County one brick, one bet, and one iconic property at a time. We're talking Disney trains, the world's first motel, Avila Beach Resort, starting it all with a risk on a frat house. He's been called a dreamer, a disruptor, a storyteller, and I'll tell you right now, you've never heard Rob Rossi like this. It's coming up only on Up+Adam, and I am so excited about it. Before that, first, if you've been to a wedding in the past couple months or have one coming up before the holidays, you are not alone. According to The Knot, October is now the most popular month to get married. 17% of weddings happened in October last year. 41% happened in September, October, or November. HuffPost asked experts to list the top ways people are rude at weddings without even realizing it. I wonder if you're guilty or have been of any one of these. Number one, monopolizing the couple's time. They got a lot of people to talk to, so don't take too much time, or for that matter, be offended if it feels like they're ignoring you. They're not. It's just a busy day. Number two, making a spectacle. Don't be this one. That includes big things like proposing at someone's wedding or just getting too drunk. No, don't be that person. But some even say, and I don't know, even upstaging them on the dance floor can be seen as rude by others. Stealing flowers, number three on this list. Don't take that centerpiece without knowing it's cool, without asking the wedding planner something. They might have plans for it. Same applies for leftovers. I remember back in the day, people would put those disposable cameras on tabletops. And then the problem is people would take them. Now, one thing, if you're going to develop them and give them to the bride and groom, sure, but most people weren't doing that. Requesting songs. Now, this depends on the wedding, but a lot of couples make playlists now. And put a lot of thought into it. So if the DJ says no, or if they're kind of like, obviously not feeling you, requesting a ton of songs, just chill, just drop it. Number five on this list, oversharing. You see it in wedding toasts a lot, but it happens in casual conversation too. Don't reveal something embarrassing about the couple unless you know that they're cool with it. Also, if you're tasked with giving a speech, don't make it a saga. Don't make it a whole thing, in and out. Number six, taking photos during the ceremony. Yes, everyone loves your new iPhone 17 Pro. Your camera is great, but don't play wedding photographer when they hired a real one to be there. You'll just get in the way. You'll ruin the actual wedding photos. My friend Patrick from Tin City Distillery, who also is an officiant, he had a great idea. He says, tells everyone to get their phones out. He says, here's your last chance. Let's do it. Has everyone take a picture of the bride and groom. It's got this cool shot. Then your wedding photographer can take a picture of the crowd with all their phones out. Makes for a great shot. And then he says, okay, now while it's in your hand, turn the damn thing off and then put it away. It's a great idea. And finally on this list, number seven, pointing out something that went wrong. God, why would you even do this? Why would this even come up? Look, most weddings, they have hiccups. If you notice something's off and it needs to be addressed, point it out to the staff. No need to loop in the couple or even their wedding party for that matter. 7 great tips from HuffPost. And who knew October? That's the month. More weddings in October than any other month now. Wow. All right. What do you say we get into this chat with the one and only Rob Rossi? Before that, I want to thank my friends at Life Elements. Here is why I believe in Life Elements. I was there yesterday, by the way, and Martha was cooking up something with menthol or something because I walked in there and my sinuses just cleared right up. She was so sweet. I was telling her about some stuff and she's like, hold on, I have this one tincture for you. Like, I swear to God, she does this all the time. She is the absolute best. I have seen what they do. I tell you, it's a skincare speakeasy. Their bug spray made with essential oils like cedarwood, lemongrass, citronella. Totally safe for your skin, pets, the planet. Their relief stick uses broad spectrum CBD, arnica, calendula to ease aches fast. My dad is swearing by this now, using it on his knee. This stuff works. What is Bernadette, that one Bernadette Peters line from the movie The Jerk?
Jeez, this shit really works.
Yes, indeed. In addition to their spot in Atascadero, 7425 El Camino Real, Suite O, back right corner, can't miss them. You can also check out their spot. You can also check out their stuff, rather, at the Hive in Arroyo Grande. Also, the General Store. Paso has been a big supporter for a while. You can always go to lifeelements.com. Use the promo code ADAM while you're there. Right now, they got 20% off your pre-orders for their Christmas bath bombs. Those are always completely huge, sold out. Martha was telling me that somebody was asking if they're doing a Black Friday sale. You're not going to get better than 20% off. And if you pre-order right now, you'll definitely make sure you get one and you'll get 20% off. So use the promo code ADAM while you're there at lifeelements.com. Yes, it saves you some money, but it lets them know you heard them on Up and Adam. We love our friends at Life Elements, and this is what happens when good people make great things.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
Okay, my guest today is a name that you might not see on the buildings downtown, but make no mistake, he's the reason a whole lot of them are still standing, shining, and turning heads. And not just downtown, of course. Rob Rossi is a developer, but calling him that it feels small. He's a dreamer, a risk taker, a storyteller who just happens to use buildings, ranch land, and vintage trains even, instead of words. He's the guy who bought a trashed frat house with a $5,000 loan from his parents and a gut feeling, and turned that instinct into a decades-long career shaping San Luis Obispo County. He's the guy who's got his hands on some original Disneyland train cars, and he just loves them. Better there than in history's scrap pile. He's even given them some new life rolling through Santa Margarita Ranch. He's that guy with some friends restoring the world's first motel right up the 101 as you're seeing it in San Luis Obispo off Monterey. He's the guy who somehow flies under the radar while helping build the radar itself. And this isn't just a conversation about architecture or real estate or development. It's a talk about vision, about legacy, and the wild joy of seeing something that isn't there yet and making it real. And although I don't know what time you're listening to this, but I suggest you pour something good. Coffee, glass of wine, a cocktail, whenever it is, lean in because Rob Rossi is here and we're going way beyond blueprints. Check this out.
It's funny, I was out with a friend of mine Monday that actually introduced me to email and all that, and we joked about it because I didn't use anything. So, how it can change your life.
Yeah, what, like you still don't really use email?
I do. Oh,
Yeah.
now he has to apologize to all my gang that I email him day and night.
Yeah.
But no, I think it must have been 2005 or 6. He said, "Here, I'll show you how to do it."
Are you pretty old school as far as not very, I don't know, computer savvy, or does that stuff interest you, or what do you think?
It interests me greatly. I have no interest in doing it. I enjoy science, and I like being involved with it in a peripheral sense.
Now, I'm so curious. Did you grow up here? Where are you from
I'm
originally?
from Ohio. I'm an import,
And
a transient.
I don't know if you'd want to say that now. Do you? How did you find SLO County?
It's kind of a crazy story, but
Probably one of many.
well, I and 38 other fellows had all flunked out of college, and this was in 1967, and ended up in Vietnam together. And one of the guys said, if and when we get back, I don't know that he emphasized the if, when we get back, you should look at Cal Poly. And I thought he meant St. Louis. So we applied and were accepted in 1970. And that started our life here, which was, unexpected. It's been beautiful. And, many friends here.
So you served in Vietnam?
Long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
What is that? How did that shape the man you are now?
Oh, I'm sure it makes you grow up. And certainly we were lucky enough to come back whole, and both physically and mentally. Just recently I took my 24-year-old on an excursion over there. I hadn't been back since '68.
Wow.
So he and I went, and he loved it. And actually, we were toured around. The tour guides weren't familiar with the things I was familiar with because they were all young and didn't really have the history.
So you're probably enlightening them, giving them a lesson.
So they then gave us a tour guide that was in his 60s, and his father had passed away, but he was our enemy at that time. So it was a great perspective for me and for Luke to go through.
What was it like just to have your feet on that ground again when the last time you were a completely different man?
Well, I was different. The place was different. It's hard to even recognize most of the place. It's hard to believe that in my lifetime that went from being what it was to what it is. People were just great. And we traveled both in North and South Vietnam, and it was great.
I bet Luke, your son, was just asking a ton of questions. He loved it. Tell me this, tell me that. You just must have had, did pieces or literal history? Oh my God, I remember that.
Oh yeah, we went to places that we served up in the mountains, and that was the kind of funny thing with the first tour guide. She was great, but she didn't have any of that history, and which is nice. The war is way behind them, and it should be, and so. But then they gave us another tour guide who took us way off the beaten path and took us up into the areas we served, and it was fun. It was great to see it.
You know, the name Rob Rossi, I mean, I would hear it a ton of times before I even had the chance to meet you. Might be one of the most influential kind of names you hear in San Luis Obispo County. What, you've, this kind of maverick, this preservationist, this Disney train nut, this visionary developer. What does the word now, Rob, legacy mean to you? Is it a buzzword, but as a personal truth, what does that feel like to you?
Well, thanks for all those characterizations. We grew up in a small town in Ohio, like San Luis. My parents were very much a part of that town. And I think I grew from that same point of view of participating. So, we don't separate or have a great line between our personal lives and our public lives and what we do. I know sometimes we're referred to as a developer, and that's true. And we're referred to as an architect, and that's true. And a lot of other things. Well, most of them have been generous. But I think curiosity and adventure have been a big part of what we like to get involved with.
I love the story of you, and I've tried to look you up a lot, so if I get something wrong, you just correct me. But I love the story of you buying a beat-up frat house right out of Cal Poly with a $5,000 loan from your parents.
That's true.
That move took guts.
Yep. Well, it did, and for my parents. Funny thing, a gentleman I think Howard Carroll, worked for one of the banks, and he was involved in making us the first loan on it. So Howard and I go back to, that was 1976, 50 years ago.
Was it confidence, desperation, or just something in your gut that told you to, get on that house and let's try for something bigger?
Oh, I think I always envisioned owning real estate. It was unique for my parents to allow me to put a loan on their house to get the money because they didn't have that kind of money. So I was paying off that loan, paying off the loan on the building we bought. And ironically, the fraternity left the building. And then we were left with no tenant and had to work hard. But it turned out to be sort of a fundamental approach that we've taken to real estate since then.
You still own that house?
Nope. I sold it. I bought it in 76 and sold it in 79.
Do you ever drive by just things and go, oh, yeah? Do you ever drive by the things you own just because you want to see them?
Oh, sure.
Do you?
Yeah, and I care about them because,
you do.
We saved a lot of things. We've restored a lot of things. And that's been a big part of what we're interested in. We've built other things, sometimes neighborhoods. we built this one out here called the Arbors or Islay Hill. And at the time, like most projects, it was controversial. And now you go out there with your kids and grandkids and trick or treat, and everybody loves it. So, change is hard.
Let's talk about some of those things as we look in our rearview mirror from a developing architectural standpoint. I think of the Delidio project. When I first moved here, that was hot. That was a hot topic. I got a chance to interview Ernie Delidio a couple times, and you would know far more wide-ranging scope of what this was all about than I would. But the interpretation I got at the time, why won't they let this guy build? Why can't this guy do his thing? I didn't quite understand it. And then it turned into something else. Other people were able to build on it, just not him. Now it's this whole thing, San Luis Ranch. What do you remember from that time? Did you know Ernie Delidio? What was that whole time like?
I did. I knew Ernie's dad, Ernie Sr.
Damn.
I think, and again, this is from an outsider, but I think Ernie wanted to keep it a farm. And they were a farming family, and I think they were respected as great farmers, and that was their goal. The city had designated 5 expansion areas. One of them, our project, the Arbors. Another one, Edna and Delidio. And I think Delidio was being pursued as the most viable, but he didn't really want to see it developed at that time. And then at some point in the future, Ernie Jr., I think, did. And he linked up with somebody that, tried to do it. And like all the projects around here, they become very controversial.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wonder after the fact.
Was it worth it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what
Interesting.
Yeah.
But then again, you look at what was happening all around the Delidio project.
Right.
Target, Costco, this, that. I mean, there was so much popping up around it. We're like, what is it about that one spot that they can't seem to agree on?
I think that, the Froome Ranch, which is the Madonnas, where all that is, was equally contentious. But, it becomes part of the fabric of the community when it's there. And so I don't know. I've never been able to explain it. I think it's just the nature of human beings.
Yeah.
What not my backyard is something we all appreciate.
What about when it comes into your own backyard? Let's talk about eminent domain. That's making the news lately. What do you think about roundabouts first? What does Rob Rossi think about roundabouts?
Well, I like roundabouts.
Okay.
I would rather see them be larger than they are.
Even so, wider roundabouts.
More like European. Where
I
they
get
really
it.
become part of the landscape.
Yeah.
But, that takes more land. It's politically more difficult. And so, I'm not suggesting they should be, but when they are, I think they're a better roundabout.
Someone owns that property where those plaza is right on California and, not Johnson, but California near the 101 where they want to put a roundabout.
Yeah.
And they're talking about suing the owner because, do you own it, by the way?
Nope.
Okay. You sure? Okay. So they're talking to the owner saying, hey, well, we're going to sue you for eminent domain. If you own that property, would be like, this is bullshit. Or would you kind of go like, no, I'm going to work with the city. How does an owner kind of go, hey, wait a minute. This happened with the Bob Jones Trail too, How does an owner go, okay, yeah, but you got all this property. You don't need mine. What do you think?
I think the reason you have eminent domain is to do the civic good. It's a friend of mine who is opposed to the Bob Jones Trail. We built the first part of it. I support it, and he knows that I support it, and he doesn't. And it's a respectful disagreement. I think from the standpoint of building a better intersection, we'd probably work with the city to do it.
Yeah.
So, taking is not. It should be the final approach to it.
Yeah.
Most of the time you can work it out.
But I guess you kind of like in regular life, you have to have relationships with these people. Like, you're a very active person in the community. I see you everywhere. And it's like, hey, I'm going to see our city council or supervisorial members. Like, you're going to see these people. You want to be a good member of the community too. So you would be more inclined to say, hey, I'm willing to talk. I'm willing to work with you.
Well, I think you bring up a good point. About 30 years ago, maybe more, when there was even more friction, a group of us, I was pleased to be part of it, put together a meeting called Designing the Future, which was probably a bigger name than the reality. But Bud Laurent was a supervisor, and I worked with him, and we staged one of the first get-togethers of all of the, I'll say, active involvement. And we seated people at tables who probably didn't really know each other. And I think to this day, it didn't change necessarily a person's perspective, but it put a humanity in it. And I think it's put a respect in it that might have gotten lost when you just don't know the person. And most of those people are still involved actively in life in the community, as they should be. And so, I mean, we sit in a unique seat because people that own property and develop it are often making changes.
Yeah.
And change is tough. I don't care what it is.
Have you had good relationships with the elected officials over the years? Like, is that important? Or do you go, hey, I'm going to do my thing anyways, who's ever elected, it doesn't matter?
We don't really get that involved in the election part of it. We like to get to know the person that's in there.
Yeah.
And explain our perspective. But, you know, I think, well, hey, after 50 years, people realize what you do and what you don't do. And,
Right.
and so hopefully you've earned some street cred from the standpoint of what you're trying to do. But, hey, it's not easy. I mean, you know, a lot of people would like it to go back to the community it was when I came here. But, you know, where you and I first met at J.P. Andrews, that building was painted white. It was half vacant. The warehouses across the street were empty. And so the town was basically a large percentage empty. And so I think the development that's gone on has been respectful of its past and contributed to turning it around.
How hard has it been when you read things like Adam Hill, you know, working with developers and this and like pressuring people and, you know, threatening people? Did you ever have experiences where like people who were caustic by all accounts were like, you know, they're like, step off, dude. Like, you know, maybe not even specifically with him if you don't want to get into that, but I mean, he's the one that we pretty much think of here. So you wonder.
I knew Adam, and he told me that he would always sit and listen if he got elected. And when he did get elected, he always sat and listened. Didn't mean he always agreed. I never had any of those involvements that you read about.
Yeah.
I mean, he was always a gentleman, and he always was respectful in, you know, opening up the dialogue.
Yeah.
And so we had a good relationship with him. I didn't know him well, but we worked with him like we do everyone else in office.
I think you have a real, people respect you. I would talk to people, whether it's the folks that you maybe have worked with you or just know of you or maybe know you in philanthropic circles. Like, I think that's what's kind of cool is like there's this, you know, there's this respect that I think you've earned over the years.
That's nice of you to say. You know, we look at ourselves as part of the community, nothing more and nothing less. And we live here. We want it to be as good as it can be. And we have real problems, and the only way you solve them is when you work together. So
Avila Beach Golf Resort.
Yep.
That's you.
Yeah, it is.
That's a pretty cool
Bought
spot.
that in the 1980s.
Do you ever just show up and be like, hey, or tell the folks over there, Katie, like, I'm taking it for a weekend. I'm having my own party out there. Like, can you even do that? Can Rob Rossi do that?
No. And I most of the time when I show up at something we're involved with, they don't even know who I am. We went on one of the, we have zip lines at the ranch.
Of course.
And we went on a
Adventures.
family zip line tour, and we were in the bus, and the tour guide was giving the ride, and he was explaining who the Rossi family was, and the Rossi family was in there, but we didn't let him know who it was. So I'd rather be behind the scenes.
You do like to fly under the radar a little bit, don't you?
We're not interested in being out in the forefront. It's this activity that we do is involved enough, you know. So
Avila Beach Golf Resort. How has that venue been? It seems like
it's had its ups and downs.
Yeah.
I mean, I think golf is very tough right now. We have Black Lake too, and they're both difficult to make them pay for themselves. Golf fell off the cliff, and you know, this county was very active in golf 30 years ago. It isn't now.
What do you think it is? Is it the game itself? Is it?
I think
do we have
the game
competitive
changed.
courses?
And I think now the golf courses are changing too. We're looking at reinventing it.
Yeah,
with
like that Top Golf kind of stuff.
Something like that, and maybe even shrinking parts of it. So,
Yeah.
you know, and then everything's gone up. I mean, we used to pay $5,000 a month for electricity. Now it's $20,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, everything has gone up except golf rounds have gone down.
Yeah.
And so it's the nature of it. And hey, it's like that in a lot of businesses right now.
You know, you're involved in another business, which I know all too closely is having a difficult time, and that's the wine industry. I love my brothers and sisters in the wine community. I know you do too. You are a partner in Ancient Peaks, and you are a partner in 14,000 acres, as we know, as Santa Margarita Ranch, this ranch that pretty much envelops this small little town. It's a beautiful spot of California, especially you get on like Brian's Central Coast Trail rides, and I don't know if you've ever done this, Rob. You get on one of these horses. It is just like Wild West, gorgeous country out there.
It's all like it was, and I think even adding the vineyards, we took the care to make sure they connected with the wildlands and all. We had a great partner in the Mondavi family when we started it, and we thought we were going to be partners for life.
Did you know him? Robert?
Yeah, Robert, Michael, and Tim.
Yeah.
I did the original deal with them.
Wow.
And we spent a lot of time with them, and they came to the ranch house, and we thought we would be partners in it for all of our family's future. And regrettably, they got bought by Constellation. And then we were faced with whether or not to jump in. We already owned the land, but not the vineyards. And so we ended up buying the vineyards back from Constellation. And thankfully, I have two partners, Doug Filipponi and Carl Wistrom.
Great guys.
Who know how to farm and how to sell. And so they do all the work. I just get the pleasure.
Where do you live in this county?
I live downtown.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have guessed. I would have guessed. Now, because I saw some news article about you where you were selling this incredible property up at the top of the grade.
Yeah.
This old house, Ryan's Gate, I think it's called.
Gate, yeah.
Did that ever sell? And
No, we haven't sold it.
It's still up there just waiting?
We bought that in 1985, and Mrs. Ryan was a writer for, I think, National Geographic, and she unfortunately, I wasn't here, but in the 50s, killed a young man and had a trial and decided to leave the area and sold the house to the Blazers, who owned it until I bought it. And then we've had it, 40 years.
And for a while, that was your house.
Yeah, we lived up there.
What was that like?
Oh, I loved it.
Because you could just see infinite.
Oh, yeah, we had our little office up there. But I loved it in one way, but I like being part of town. And I found when I was out there, it was too easy to stay out there.
It was a little bit too Great Gatsby-ish.
Yeah.
Like,
so I thought, I'd rather be in town.
Because you like connection. I can tell that
Well,
about
I like
you.
community. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, since we've had that house, we've had 2, if not 3 rock and roll bands up there that have leased it, and they can play because you're surrounded by thousands of acres.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. So
Do you like Airbnb it, or do you do anything? Or is it just
we have
empty?
a license for it. We've only done it a couple times.
Yeah. Is it like livable? Like if someone just
It
did
is.
a
We
weekend
have
up there?
a gentleman in it right now.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. We have a caretaker up there and another guy living there.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. What a fun property. All right, let's talk John Couch. Mm-hmm. He credits you when I had a great conversation with John. I'm curious what you first thought when you met a gentleman like him. And then he credits you. He was looking all over, and you found him literally the perfect home.
It was one of those great moments. John and I have known each other for 20 years. His daughter-in-law and my daughter-in-law went to a concert, and when they met, they said, we should really get our father-in-laws together. I want to say this was 2005 or 6, and John was living in Saratoga, and all of his kids are here. He has 17 grandkids and 4 adult kids, and they've all kind of migrated to San Luis. Chris went to school here, and so anyway, he wanted to come back here, and we looked around, spent days driving properties, and finally I said, hey, I think I know of something, and lo and behold, they were going to sell it the following weekend, Monday, and we were able to step in, and he it was the Catholic Church that was selling it.
Yeah, because it was owned by the Archdiocese of Monterey County.
It was, and he certainly is a very active Catholic, and so that didn't hurt. But he still had to
made the
do
yeah. But did you want that property? Why didn't you take it?
A long time ago, we did.
It's a gorgeous property right at the hill of San Luis.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
What a cool place.
Yep.
So you help him get into that. He was just like, wow, this is like the absolute perfect thing. And let's see, what comes some other things? That first motel.
Oh, yeah.
The Motel Inn?
It's becoming the motel from hell.
Yeah.
It was where the word motel was created in 1922, I believe, and it fell into disrepair. The then owners of the apple farm acquired it. And so when we ended up buying the apple farm 25 years ago, we bought that too. Regrettably, we've never been able to find a project that would be economically viable. So we're still searching for the solution. But it's got great history.
It's that facade you left up.
Yeah. Most of the buildings were beyond repair. The roofs had collapsed. There was asbestos. So we cleaned everything out. And also, it's one of those romantic visions in a way. The rooms were like 12 by 10. So no one would stay in them today. But at the time, it was state of the art.
If you could do anything you want, what would you want to do with that spot? Turn it into look what Kimberly Walker has done, right?
Yes.
She is killing it. You can put her on this case. Yep. She'll whip that baby up.
You mentioned that. We've talked to them.
Really?
But, I think that
brilliant.
They're really good at converting existing properties to a new reality. And this one's a build up from the ground. So, and right now, it's impossible to find financing. So we're sort of in limbo.
Yeah.
I don't know what we do.
What about John Couch?
Yeah. John's a partner of ours in that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. So let me ask you, did you ever know or hang out or kick it with Alex Madonna? Mm-hmm. What was he like?
Oh, he was great.
Was he?
Yeah, unique. Yeah, definitely great.
Now, were these friends that you would just have because you're both notable people in the area, or were you tight? Like, were you visiting them all the time?
Well, I think he saw that we were starting to get involved in things, and he was always trying to, get involved in what was happening.
Yeah.
And then his son, John, and I were good friends, and John did a lot of work with us. Alex was, he was a unique person. Yeah. I think even though I didn't fully appreciate the Madonna Inn when I first moved here, the artisan nature of it and the quality that he put into it it really shows.
Yeah.
And I think it's got a long legacy, but he was a character and roping and riding right up to the end. So
there was this story where he, over my dead body kind of thing about a pool up there at Madonna Inn.
Oh, I think that was somewhat of his posture on many things.
Was it?
Yeah. But he always seemed to have his arms around what was right and wrong, and really focused on doing the right thing. Yeah. So I think, and I see that in the family that is still here and running it.
Are there any pieces of your properties where you just have something particularly the way you like it, and you're like, no, I do not want to make that change. It's going to be beyond while I'm here that you're going to have to make that change, kind of like that pool at Madonna.
Sometimes, but I don't know. There's you look at something when you finished it, and most of the things you could say I could have done it better.
Yeah,
and then you look at it and say, well, maybe I'll go try this. So, never complete.
Let's talk about your love for the railroad. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited about this because you rescued the original Disneyland coaches, gave them a new life, and it's real. That's beyond collecting. That's curating American magic. What did that moment feel like when you saw those cars and knew that they belonged with you?
Well, there's a very important backstory to the thing. There was a narrow gauge railroad that ran out to Port San Luis in the 1800s, and it was dismantled during World War II for the steel. And we own a number of properties both in Avila and San Luis that were part of that railroad. They've been recreated. So when we got more involved in Avila in the 80s, there was a gentleman, Brad LaRose, who was active in trying to put together a railroad museum, which he did, and with a lot of help from others, and others that were very much involved in the railroad. And Brad introduced me to a guy, Bill Norad, and Bill was he was part of the invention of the modem for Litton Industries. And to my surprise, Bill wanted to build a railroad town. He liked Disney, but he wanted more of a pure railroad town in L.A. And I've got the whole booklet he put together. L.A. turned him down. He was the one that acquired most of this and assembled it. And regrettably, he had cancer, passed away, and I was lucky enough that his daughter thought that I shared the same vision and said, we'd like you to be the owner of these. And I bought them from him without any real plan. And we hauled them up here on
How often are you known for doing that?
Yeah, a lot. So we hauled them up here on semis and put them in a barn. And we have the original track and the engine from Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. So we ran that on 700 feet of track, and I realized that was a little bit, 3 hours to steam it up, ride for
They filmed that
10
right
seconds.
outside my hometown in Agora.
Oh, yeah.
They filmed that right outside
that's where
Cornell.
it was all from.
Yeah.
So Bill owned that at the time and leased it to the film studio. So we have all those steam engines and some others. And during COVID, we started renovating all of them. The Disney cars have been redone by a great guy in his shop in southern San Luis, Peter Nutt, and another railroad nut. And then we've sent the steam engines off and had the boilers rebuilt. And so we've got a working railroad. And it's great because I think there's still an attraction for kids and families. Last year, my kids put together, last couple of years, a Christmas at the ranch, and I think we're probably going to have 15 to 20,000 guests this year. And it's I'm oversubscribed. We're not sure how to accommodate the number of tickets we're selling.
Right.
And next year, we'll have the last 2 engines complete. So we'll have more capacity, which will help. But no, they've done a great, and it's been a family event. So it's been fun seeing the trains used because we really didn't have a purpose when we started.
Yeah.
We built kind of a railroad we'd use for special occasions, and now it's operating railroad certified by the state of California.
Now, does it feel like, you see, I knew there was something. I knew we were going to find our time with these trains.
I don't think I would have ever started running it. We had a couple of, it's like everything in life. You have some good luck. There's a gentleman, Jeff Badger, who we've known for years and moved here to do one thing, and we were lucky enough to hire him. And he's really been the anchor and the strength of the whole thing. And he's put together a great group of young guys. And here you got young people that want to work on steam engines. And when you think about it, it's the 1800s technology, but it's the same steam that they use at Diablo, just different fuel.
Great point. Yeah. Is it true that you named this steam engine after your granddaughter?
Oh, yeah, the first one. And then we've named all the cars after somebody in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Caroline.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Boom, there you go. That was Rob Rossi. Can't argue this. That guy showed up for his town. Seeing potential where others see issues. Taking swings where most others wouldn't dare. Saved trains, built dreams, lost some sleep, I'm sure, and never lost sight of the place that built him. And today, I love pulling back that curtain. No press releases, no blueprints, just the man, the mind, and a few stories that you won't find on a plaque. And speaking of the stuff you'll never see on a plaque, this is a guy who would keep brand new sleeping bags in the back of his car, just in case. Just in case of what? Not so he could crash somewhere. No, in case he saw someone out there, cold, sleeping rough. He'd pull over, hand one out, and keep moving. No name, no story, no look at me. Rob will never even tell you a story like this. Just one human looking out for another. And yeah, he's still showing up at fundraisers, cutting checks when it matters, yes. But that was just him being decent when nobody was watching and no one would ever know. That's the kind of legacy that no blueprint can hold. When I heard that story, so cool. It's so cool. And this was just part 1. If you thought that was good, you got to wait till part 2. Rob Rossi gets even more real, more raw, and we go deeper into the stuff you can't Google about him. The wins, the losses, the land, and the stories he's never shared until now. Part 2 of my conversation with Rob Rossi dropping early next week, only on Up+Adam. And I thank him so much for his time. He sat down for a long time with me, and it was great. All right, good stuff. Tomorrow, it is Friday. We're talking with our friends from the Arroyo Grande Beer and Wine Fest. That's going to be rad. That's happening on Saturday. Also, Autumn Soiree, the Slow Way. Am I saying that right? Yes, the Autumn Soiree happening at Hotel Slow. I got 2 tickets for it. This event has been sold out for months. You want to go? You want to check it out with me? I'm going to be there being the MC. It's such a fun event. The food at this event, insane. Go to AdamMontiel.com, click on the Connect tab. Let me know you want to go. We'll get somebody in. I got just 2 tickets to the sold out event. I'd love to give them to you. I'll see you there. The Autumn Soiree at Hotel Slow, completely sold out. We're going to hook you up. Get to AdamMontiel.com, click the Connect tab. All right. Thanks to Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show. Start Again. Thanks to our friends at Timbre Winery for giving us the Timbre LoBro Studios. Josh Clapper from Timbre, the owner and winemaker. He's going to be on the show tomorrow because he is one of the wineries pouring at the Arroyo Grande Beer and Wine Fest. So we're going to have him on the show. I love that. That's going to be cool. Tomorrow we'll also talk to Robin Coleman from the Woods Humane Society. What a week. Lots going on. Thank you so much for connecting here, for rating, reviewing, subscribing to the show wherever you listen to it. It means an absolute ton. Thank you. And until tomorrow, I'm Adam Montiel. Appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for being Up and Adam.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.